Good to see everybody. I think today is the day nationally and maybe to an extent worldwide that recognize and honor veterans and all the service that all those have poured into their time and service. Much respect and appreciation coming from not only myself but our program. We don't take the freedoms that we have lightly, and the things that they have done, the sacrifices that all service people have made for our country to be what it is. I'm very, very thankful, and hopefully we use some time today to honor that in the right way. On to a much smaller scale in the scope of what that comment is, we had a really good Monday practice, and certainly excited with 3 games left. What's at stake for us? The opportunity to compete in position, meaningful games in the month of November, to still try to find a way to win a conference championship. That is our focus. We understand that everything and every habit that we have geared up to this game versus San Diego State will be so important. I think that they pose some challenges, and that we'll have to be really good defensively in a lot of areas. Their quarterback is playing from where he started to where he is this week. He's a really, really strong talent. Hard to believe he's a freshman. The way he's playing, they've got elite skill on the outsides. Defensively, I've got respect for the way they play. They lost a tough game to New Mexico on Friday night, and I know that with an extra day or two of prep, they'll be ready to go, and I'm sure excited to come to Vegas and play. So our guys are hungry. We're excited about where we are opportunity-wise. We understand that a number of things went into our game at Hawaii to find a way to win, to finish the way that we did, and really it took every play to get it done, but in a tough place to win. Our guys found a way and was excited about that. Fairly healthy out of the game. I think if we played, tomorrow, I think we would have everybody that played in the game the other night. So even though we had some injuries throughout the course of the game, I believe we will have them all back for activity on Saturday. So we'll use the week the right way. Tomorrow will be a full padded practice. It'll be a physical one that we need in our program to continue our Tuesday practices, combined with the extra work we get on Mondays, are really beneficial for us, especially this time of year, in my opinion, because it's about rep count. It's about the number of things that we're able to do and the physicality that we can play with. That'll be really important down the stretch, and we believe in that as a program. And then before we know it, it'll be 7:30 on Saturday night, and it'll be a long day Saturday getting ready to go play. But we're more than used to that now with the late games that we've had. We've got a pretty good routine for our guys, and I know they're excited to play at home. I do know that. I can feel that, and you hear them talking about this next opportunity here for us in Allegiant. I'll answer any questions if I can.
Coach, can you talk about the offensive line push, especially in the second half, and that student body right blocking scheme and what have you downfield, and just all the good things they did, especially down the stretch in the second half?
Yeah, they were really starting to take control of the game in the second half, as really in the fourth quarter. I think we wore them down. I think, physically, our offensive line did that, along with the tight ends blocking, and then the receivers, the way that Coach Alexander has them playing when the ball's not in their hands. I thought Jet Thomas ran extremely tough, hard. Greg Burrell did as well. Play 70 of the game on offense. It was a big play on first down. I think it got us to 2nd and 4, right hash, another, then the next call. Terrific point of attack blocking, and then Jet broke a tackle, stayed on his feet, and then you look at Ricky White, blocking downfield, getting enough of a space for Jet to continue to run down the sideline, and then Haj runs downfield and really probably springs the final block to get him into the end zone. That's great team ball. It's fun to see, and the ultimate finish is when you can get into a position offensively, and you've got to get a first down to win the game, and they found a way to go get it. Really proud of their efforts. I think they're continuing to play well together as a group. Number of guys stepped in and played the other night in some different formations that we had or schematics and did a nice job. So it was good to see. We're going to have to be able to run the ball the next 3 weeks to have a chance. And if we can do that, then we got a chance of being a pretty good offense here down the stretch.
Coach, had that package with Hank Purvis been installed previously, or was that something that was specific for this game? Because he really made the impact late.
And we've ran that particular personnel group in a few times this year, and so I think it was just maybe a little more notice because we stayed in a little bit longer the other night.
Any update on Jacob DeJesus?
Yeah, I think he had a really good practice today. I think he's will be ready and fully cleared to play.
How about the defensive backs? You said you think everyone who played.
Yeah, I think so. Grimes was the one that was limited the most, and he was out there. He ran around some today. Looking at days of the week, I think he'll be able to practice most every rep tomorrow, and then if he does that, then progress through the rest of the week. Jarvis Ware had an ankle. He had a full practice today, so I think we're in good shape.
Can you talk about Wiley?
Malik Chavez will be back this week, which will be big. And we were down to 2 corners the other night, and you add those 3, and now we're back +3, which is obviously a good thing. Lavario came in and played a lot of snaps. He's gotten better as the years went on and gone on. And we talk all the time about you've got to prepare as you're the starter because you're a play or 2 away from your number getting called. And if you haven't prepared, then you get exposed and you let the organization down. So Lavario, for us on what he did, stepped in and the number of plays he played and the level he played at, much respect for him staying true to the process, and then when he had the opportunity, played well.
And it was good to see Marcel McDuffie really able to be out there for the full game. What kind of element does he bring to the defense when he's at 100%?
Yeah, I think you look at just his experience. I think he and Woodard together is a really good combo. Manny Powell's played well in there as well as Charles Correa. But I think just the experience factor of McDuffie, feel for it on, getting back into the flow of playing, consecutive series. Now he's in that shape that can do it, and it showed up the other night. I mean, he's a really good player. He's active. He's got good speed, good strength, good eyes. Was able to, read and react, and I thought he tackled really well the other night too.
And with Burrell kind of providing that spark, especially in the second half, it seems like there's always one back that kind of has that kind of spurt in the second half. Is that something that you kind of, going into the game as a coaching staff, will think about, hey, maybe this guy's a better matchup against this defense, or is it more just a touch and feel as the game goes on?
I think Coach Ford has done a nice job with the rotation there. I think we've got packages with different personnel groupings on who's in that personnel grouping, but then within the game, if somebody seems to be playing having a little more success, we'll stick with them a little more. And I think, Greg had some opportunities the other night and proved that probably should keep him in the game a little bit the other night. So Cornell controls that on the substitution of the running backs, and it was really good to see him, have some tough runs, get his foot in the ground and get north and south, finish the runs. And then again, I've already said about, Jet's performance. So that was a good 1-2 punch the other night for us. And then Hodge was really good in the run game as well.
7th straight road win. I know you've talked about the preparation just being very consistent for this team, but is there something that you feel like is really setting your team apart in the way that you prepare for these away games?
No. I wish I could say, yeah, there's the magic dust of this is what it is, but it's believing with really strong conviction on what you do works, and then our guys applying that, and a little bit taking the road warrior mentality of us against everybody, chip on your shoulder. So I don't know, maybe I should just say this week's away too and trick them into an away game. No. I like our Friday routine. It's really hard on the assistant coaches. It's a beast now on what we have as a staff, but it really works. And we believe in the final 48-hour preparation on what that looks like, and our players are starting to see some great benefit for it. So just got to keep it going.
You said the Friday preparation is tough on the assistant coaches. Why?
It's a long day. When we're not with the players, we're in meetings, and I know that I learned as an assistant because I got most of the schedule from where I worked before, and I didn't do it when I was a head coach at Missouri. I mean, I did a version of it, but not this. I know if you haven't prepared right on Friday as an assistant or myself, if you don't grab a bite to eat early in the morning before you have a chance to sit down and eat, it's the evening meal at the hotel. So I learned that tough way. Nobody gave me advice when we first did this at Arkansas as an assistant my first year there. And just we pour a lot into, and they do all week, but Fridays are a little more taxing on especially some of the older coaches. They have a tough time.
Coaches,
I mean, more experienced coaches, not older. I can't say that. More experienced coaches.
this was your first trip to Hawaii with the team. Well, just kind of your impressions, thoughts.
I mean, I look forward to going back there someday and enjoying it. You know, without a team, just maybe my wife and I, that would be nice. It was a beautiful place. I thought our operations team, Austin Van Pook, Ethan Baxter, they did a great job on traveling first class, on putting things together that just hit perfectly for what we needed. You know, we got there on Thursday, did a Friday walkthrough at a local high school. I don't know. I think the approach, did as much research as I could in the off season on teams that had gone there and had success. You know, do you go on Thursday? Do you go on Wednesday? Do you go on Friday? What's best? And then, you know, we really narrowed it down in the off season and thought our plan was good. I wouldn't want to do it every week. You know, I think we got back Sunday morning around 8:30, I think. It's just a long trip, but, you know, it's a lot easier when you go win. I know that. So, you know, I think they've got a pretty good team. They're playing well right now. I thought they were playing, like I said last week at this time, their best ball going into the game, and that proved to be true. They'll win some here in November. I don't know who they play, but they're playing well.
Can you expand a little bit on just Veterans Day? Did you have any friends that went on and served in the military, or family members, and the appreciation and respect you have?
On my family side, my mom's dad served he served overseas. I think my dad was in the National Guard. Trying to think on the other side. And I've always had this, I mean, there's interactions, there's people you went to school with that, you know, as soon as the day high school is over, they go off to the service. And they've made that commitment and understand, you know, how important that is to our country. So much respect.
You said that you might take some time to try to like honor the holiday. Is that something you've typically done? What would that look like with the team?
No, I think was make it known on what today is and why it is a recognizable day. And I think it's important for everybody to understand that. I mean, it's easy to, you know, take the day off of work or not. Well, go do something that makes it a better place. So if we're going to truly recognize it as a day, then let's make it known, and you can still get a lot of work done and have respect for the reason that there's a holiday. So.
What can you do moving forward with Haj Malik to kind of prep him for what could be coming in terms of defensive looks? Because he was having a little trouble there and on the sidelines. You guys had some hard conversations with him. He was looking at the tablet and kind of getting frustrated.
Yeah, we're going to get a number of different pitchers. I mean, that's game planning. That's we've got to slow down a little bit, and I think, you know, he grew a lot the other night during the game, just on pre-snap read, what was really there. Don't chase things that aren't. I thought he came back, bounced back in the second half, and played exceptional. So I think that's experience, learning, teaching moments, and then staff-wise, you know, we've got the ultimate goal is to put our players in position to have success and let them put them in position when you've got a good enough team athletically, put them in position so they can go play fast and play free. So there's times, game-changing plays that may be impacted because what you're getting on the other side. So, can you stay ahead of the game and have, either a check or plays that will get them out of that? So I think there's a two-part thought process into that. Yes, player got to continue to execute and see some things that are there or not there. Also, we've got to do a great job as coaches on putting them in position to slow it down. And I thought that not only Hodge played better, but I thought offensively we continued to find answers, which, thankfully they were able to do that. And I think, Hawaii's playing good defense right now, and so San Diego State and San Jose will, and the other one will too.
It's funny, 2 weeks ago when Haj Malik was sitting in that seat, he said that his job as an offense, doesn't matter how short or long it takes, was to go out there and score points. But one of the best drives of the year for him was that last drive of the game where there were no points scored. They showed you on the national TV broadcast when he broke that run at the end, downright exuberant on the sideline. What was it like for you guys on the sideline watching that drive?
We just knew we had to get it first, and then it was third down, and I'm thinking, okay, if it's fourth and short, are we really going to go for it here? Because I didn't want them to get the ball back, but I certainly didn't want them back at midfield. So how huge that play was, and then for him to execute it the way that he did, that was a great relief and was thrilled for our team. That was a big-time play because I knew it ended it. We knew they were out of timeouts. Get a first down and the game's over. And so we knew at that point we'd won the game.
You had 2 TDs called back.
Yep.
When you watched on film, something to learn from, not penalties. Christian Moore, was that?
It's really hard to return a kick for a touchdown in college football. Really, really hard. And I hate that one was called back. I think that the guys, all 11 of them for us, did exactly what they were coached to do and played really clean. What a great effort by D'Angelo getting the ball in the end zone. I mean, just the extra effort there. And then on the pick six by Doyle, now he's in there saying I should be playing tight end and, give me the ball. And, they called a late hit on the quarterback, and officials have a tough job, especially some of the angles they have. Obviously, if we don't get those called back and we make the 2 field goals, that's a 20-point swing. But that we made it a lot harder than it needed to be. We will always take film, look at what was called, be open and honest about it. If it needs to be corrected fundamentally, find ways to correct it.
Anything else?
Thanks, guys. Have a great day.
Question?
Ricky, I have to ask you, how many more block punts do you have?
I'm gonna say about 2-3 more.
Did you know where the ball was on that? Like how? Because it's pretty low, but did you recognize? Like, oh my God! I can
Yes,
get
sir. Throughout preparation this whole week, scouting their punt team. Like I keep emphasizing, Coach Stevens does a great job of just getting us together. Dialing up the right scheme for their opponent scout team. So I definitely know it's gonna be a low kick. That's why I got my hand up through the shield.
Were you in the middle?
Say it again.
How many times were you in the middle on punt block? Because I saw you on the edge a couple times.
Right. It was just for this week, knowing that they had a certain gap open. So.
And John, for you, after no turnovers for just the second time under this coaching staff in the last game, had to feel really good early on to get that pick off the tip. Walk us through that play from your perspective.
On that play, we went 0, so I knew that they had to get the ball out quick. And our linebacker, Marcin McDuffie, he got pressure on the quarterback fast. And like I said, I just looked up and the ball was there. Yeah, and that was that.
And defensively, it seemed like you guys were in cover 0 a lot. Was it more so than you guys had done in any other game this year?
Definitely more. We knew that we had to get pressure on their quarterback so that he can get the ball out fast. That was that.
John, how good did it feel to dump the quarterback?
It definitely felt good. We worked on it all week at practice, and for it to actually show up on game day, it was exciting.
Jackson, for you, we talked a little bit last week during our coaches show with Coach Odom about your nomination for the Burlsworth Trophy. He had talked about just some of the history and the connections to Arkansas and the connections with you. What was that process like for you as far as getting that call? Maybe not quite the Archie Manning phone call, but just that Arkansas connection as well has to bring another element for you.
Yeah, it means a lot. You know, Brandon was an incredible human being. His family's awesome. I've actually worked at a couple of their camps back at Arkansas. Marty Burlsworth, you know, I'm close with him. That's the brother, and so it means a lot. Obviously, I take pride in, you know, once being a walk-on. You know, I think it's something for every kid to look at. You know, I'm just a normal kid that works hard and earned what I've gotten. I don't deserve anything, but I went out there and took it. So it meant a lot.
Ricky, we saw D'Angelo Irvin played most of any game this year. He had the kickoff return called back, but we saw him involved in the offense a little bit. What have you noticed about his progression throughout this season?
Oh, he's a great kid, man. It comes with a preparation off the field. Man, he's has so much talent. You know, in the future, he's going to be one of the best playmakers on this team. The way he prepares at practice is great. Great special teams guy also. So he prepares the right way, and that's what allows him to play good come Saturday. So it was expected of him to play that good this past weekend.
Jackson, could you talk about your film preparation? I know a lot goes into it, but you always seem to be in the right spot. How much time do you have to spend to be best prepared?
Yeah, film is everything, really. Especially for the linebacker position. I got to know exactly what the run fit is, how they block on run and pass, and then their passing scheme, their routes. You know, what's behind me, what's in front of me, when to drive stuff, and you know, I credit a lot of that to Coach Shear. You know, he's taught me really how to watch film. As a freshman coming in, obviously high school, you don't watch that much. Well, I didn't watch that much film because I just went out there and played ball, and so it's huge. I break it down. Every day is different. Watch a different formation, maybe first downs. Whatever I'm watching is different. But it's everything for me, really.
What moments in the game do you choose to maybe go up and down the defense and talk to guys? Because I noticed there was a moment with Lucas Conte where I don't know what he did, but people were fired up.
Yeah, there's certain times, obviously, throughout a football game. It's a high-emotion game. There's certain stuff I mess up. D-line messes up, DBs mess up, where we just got to get it corrected. You know, you're talking about a specific situation. There was just a miscommunication, and then we got it fixed, you know, right after that when we came out on the sideline. And then there's certain times in the game where I need to go over to Jono. I'm like, I need you to talk. I need you to talk. I need you to go make a play. Whatever it is, I challenge the guys to be the guy to make the play. And then, you know, it just gets the group going. So there's nothing really specific. It's just certain times where I feel I need to get up and go along the sideline.
How'd you guys think you defended Shaver's run game?
You know, I'm disappointed personally in myself. I think the team did a really good job. I think there's a few times where I just got to keep running my feet, you know, on blocks. But I think overall, the past 2 weeks, he had 100, I think, plus yards. You know, we held him to below that, obviously. So I'm proud of the team as a whole. I got to do a little bit better, though.
John, the defensive backfield, the depth was tested. Injuries kind of going into the game, couple injuries during the game. For you were in man coverage a lot, which is not anything really new for you, but how much changed going from what you had planned on going into the game versus what actually ended up occurring because of the injuries?
Not really much. It's just really next man up mentality. Throughout the week, we ran man all week, so I knew that we were gonna run man versus these guys. But as far as guys going down, it's just next man up. He prepared the same way throughout the week as our one. He got to prepare like he's a starter. So whenever that moment comes, he's ready for that moment.
Jackson, how do you feel, if you can remember last year at this time of year, how do you feel physically now as compared to, you know, the end of last season, and what have you done, you know, to prepare yourself for, you know, these last few games?
Yeah, I mean, the first thing is the good Lord has blessed me this year. You know, I've been relatively healthy. You know, I've been a little banged up, but my body feels really good. And then obviously I learned from last year in certain areas. Coach Fish does a phenomenal job at keeping my body healthy personally. You know, I take a lot of time afterward, after practice or after lifting with him to just fix my hips or whatever it is. You know, he's a wizard when it comes to the body. So I owe a lot of it to him. And then just doing that extra 1%, you know, when it comes to recovery. We try to get 1% on the field, but 1% off the field I think is, you know, even more important. So I think, you know, I feel definitely better than I did last year.
Ricky, the touchdown run by Jet was almost a second effort type of play for you. You're always, you know, a tough blocker on the outside, but did it kind of come as a surprise? Like, oh no, here comes everybody else behind me on that play?
Right, it definitely did. You could see me mid-play, like, kind of stop, thinking that, you know, the play was dead and he got tackled. But, you know, I turn around and I see him come out the huddle and everything. So I got on my man immediately, pushed my man off the field, kind of, and Jet made the cutback. So, you know, I was happy to see, you know, Jet get in that box for him. That was exciting.
You turned, and probably the first person you saw was QB1, Billy Williams, coming at you. Is that something that he does in practice often?
Yeah, him and Cam. So, you know, we just emphasize everybody putting a hat on the hat. I feel like we do that, you know, we can get in the touchdown easy. So.
What do you see so far, Jackson, on their offense with Barry Odom said the quarterback's playing really well, you know, in front of his age, and they have a big-time running back?
Yeah, I think the quarterback's really good, like you said, especially for his age, being a freshman, to be able to play like he is. We're going to have to do really good, both giving, you know, pressuring him and then playing good in the back end. And then, like you mentioned, the running back's a really good player, tough, physical back. I think he's really explosive. They got playmakers on the outside. I think their O-line's really tough. It's going to be a tough matchup. We're going to have to go out there and practice really hard and be perfect on game day.
You guys are 7-0 on the road, dating back to last season. Coach Odom was joking that you should just look at this weekend as an away game because you guys kind of enter away games with like a chip on your shoulder. Do you agree with that? Like, do you see validity to the idea that you kind of go on the road with a little extra?
Yeah, I mean, I think me personally, I love being on the road. I love playing in front of our fans, obviously, but there's something about being, you know, just our team. It's us versus everybody else in the arena. There's something about that just brings something out inside of me, you know, personally. But no, we're going to attack this game like we do every game. It's really no different. Obviously, like you mentioned, we have a good record on the road, but I don't, you know, that might just be coincidence or whatever it is. Obviously, we got a good team, mature team that plays good wherever we're at, so we'll be ready.
One of the things that Coach Odom had said last week coming off the bye was that the coaching staff had developed the plan and the schedule with these last 4 games in mind, kind of a sprint towards the finish. Is there something that you guys have noticed that's maybe shifted as far as the urgency as you get here towards the end of the schedule, especially with how it's played out around the rest of the college football landscape?
I would definitely say finishing. That's our biggest thing right now around the building. It's the main word being brought up is finishing the season the correct way. Around this time last year, you know, we didn't finish the way we wanted to, and that was between us, the players, you know, and, you know, somewhat the coaches, you could say. But, you know, we're definitely going to finish the right way this year. So,
outside of the personnel in the building, as far as the players, what's a big difference that you guys have noticed between this time last year, similar record, to this time this year?
I would definitely say keeping our habits. That's what we're trying to do right now, just maintain our habits. And I feel like we take care of the little things, you know. It'll take us far and deep into the season. You know, we'll be playing till January. So that's hopefully what we're going to do is continue to, you know, keep our right habits and take care of the small things, small details.
Coach Odom talked about kind of the long trip that you guys had over to Hawaii, and this is obviously coming off of the bye week. Before that, you guys have, you know, lost to Boise State. You know, we changed the clocks back as well. You have the, you know, 3-hour time difference in Hawaii. You talk about habits. Were those really kind of affected during this long trip, or was it just a case of really honing it in a lot more in order to be prepared for this game?
I would definitely say what you said last. Just staying together, really focusing on the little things as we, you know, had a long flight, was there 2 days before the game. knowing that the time had changed. So just, staying focused, being locked in while we were out there. Hawaii is a hard place to win at. They also have a great team coached by great coaches. So, it was a challenge. I'm glad we pulled away with the win. So, we're just gonna keep going, keep stacking days, keep working, continue to be focused and locked in.
Especially when it's raining, playing in an
Most
indoor stadium is definitely a blessing when you're, playing in pouring rain when the game starts out with, no clouds in the sky, just a perfect weather game.
Right.
Any of you guys have any, today's Veterans Day, did you have any friends that went and served in the military, or fathers or uncles or anything that you kind of have a appreciation for what those servicemen do? Any of you guys?
Yeah, both my grandfathers, none of them were on the front line or anything, but both of them actually did serve. I know one, it was Vietnam. I can't remember where the other one served, but it's huge. We owe a lot to them. They give us our freedom. They put their life on the line. We talk about sacrifice inside this building just as a teammates, but they're doing it on a different scale. They're putting their life on the line. They have family members back home that they know that if they don't come back, whatever it is, it's incredible what they do. We owe so much to them. I'm super thankful for anyone who has served. It's a huge day, and we should all be extremely thankful.
Good. Shift change. Thank you.
Jack, take us through play number 70, what you saw, how you stayed on your feet, kept your balance, scored the touchdown, and all the blocking ahead of you.
Shout out to my O-line for just keeping the pursuit, and my QB, Rick, just for the blocking. But, I just seen a hole, just tried to hit it. I couldn't. I thought I was down. I was able to just put my hand down on the ground, and I noticed that. So in my head, I just kept pushing, and God just gave me a way just to get out of the hole and just keep running. That was really it.
For you personally, is that as satisfying a run as you've had in your college career?
I wouldn't say satisfying because it's something I know I could do just in general, but it's just showing my abilities of what I can do.
Coach Odom has always meant, when he talks about you, he always says like contact balance, and that you're able to stay on your feet. What does that mean to you, and what goes into having that skill as a running back?
Just being a running back, you have to have that type of balance. Just even if you want to get to the next level, just not being able just to be tackled is just a key thing as being a running back. So just that is just me working on that is just improving my game to the next level.
About the blocking that Tony was asking about, when you watch on film, especially when you see your quarterback is out in front, your star wide receivers out in front.
It's just phenomenal. It's just teamwork. That's just teamwork and grind. Like every day at practice, Tuesday practice is just everybody grinding. That just show that we want it.
Jalen, what does it mean when you're on the offensive line, you see him break out, and also you see Haj Malik, downfield throwing the big block. What does that mean to you as an offensive lineman, that mentality?
We just got to have it. That's the mentality. It was a tough environment, a lot of things didn't go the way we wanted to early on, but we know that if we stayed with it and did the job and what we had to do, that it was gonna happen, Hodge, I just told Hodge this actually. I said, Hodge, bro, get out the way, bro. Like, we don't need you to take no more hits, bro. Get out the way. But thank you, but get out the way. Rick just be Rick. Hank was up there too. He got caught a little bit, but he was up there. So, and just kudos to Jet for getting the job done, and Tiger and Sewell and Jack, everybody, the whole offense, just getting the job done.
Jalen, last week, Haas came in here and said that he could sense last year in the meeting against Hawaii that you guys wore them down. Did you sense that in the second half again in this meeting?
Yes, I would say that. We first play, we didn't, just from the beginning of the game, from first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, throughout the game, we didn't play how we were supposed to play at the beginning of the game. And, if you watch the game, you know that. So after halftime, we came out, did what we had to do, made some adjustments, and just say, all right, like, let's go. Like, we got 307 last year, let's beat 307. We ain't beat 307, we a little shaky, but we got the job done. That's all that matters.
Did you watch any of the replay? There were some times where you guys on that sweep with just banging heads. And then I think Hank Purvis just pushed someone out of the way, like with his arm.
Yeah.
You guys are firing out in the second half for sure.
Yeah, you know, that's something that Coach Odom came to us and talked to us about. Coach Marion got on us, Coach Vice got on us. And as a unit, we knew that we wasn't playing how we were supposed to be playing. We thought it was going to be an easier game than what it was. We knew it was going to be hard, but we just had a feeling that we was going to go in there and dominate, and it wasn't the case. They play football just like we play football. So we just had to get in and get out with a win. That was the only thing.
And Chop, how much of a spark did Purvis give you guys on the offensive line? That's as much as he's played this year.
Yeah, you know, I told him before the game, I said, hey, bro, you're going to play this week. You're going to play today. So don't go out there on no freshmen. Just go play ball, bro. Like, it's another game. You know, you block the best players every day. So if you go out there and do what you do day in and day out, you should be all right.
And speaking of the spark, Jet, how important was it for the freshman Greg Burrell to go out there and give you guys the production that he did with some of those big chunk plays?
Oh, it was huge for him. You know, just able to get that spark for us. That even fueled me up just to go back out there just to add on to what he did. But shout outs to Greg. You know, he works hard every day. He's on his stuff. The sky's the limit for him.
Anything else?
The weather was pretty unpredictable during the game. Obviously, you know, kickoff, the sun's out, and you know, sun is shining basically. But Jaden, you know, kind of as the rain kind of falling down as a running back, you're trying to get out of the pocket, obviously get through your O-line. You know, hail from Georgia. Did it kind of feel like more of like a back to home kind of experience, or you know, definitely more of a difficult kind of run game for you, even though it was one of your best marks of the season so far?
I would say it was just basically just preparation. You know, weather control is just distraction. That's just something that you just have to settle out your head. Just play football at the end of the day. It's just the same game that we've been playing since we were younger. That's really it.
And then Chop, that last drive, as long as sustained a drive in as critical a situation as there has been all year long. You had said in the second half, kind of going up and down the line, like, hey, we want the ball, we want to run the ball. You know, how satisfying was it for you guys to go out there and run that 4-minute drill to perfection to clinch the game?
Yes, sir. You know, I just feel like we can run the ball on a lot of teams. Like, I believe that. I believe in our O-line. I believe in our running backs, all of them. I believe in Hodge. I believe in our receivers blocking. So I feel like when we can do that and we kind of get away from it or kind of like shy, I don't really know how to say it, but kind of get away from it, it's kind of aggravating because that's what we are. Like, we're a running team, and I know that. And I know the type of guys we got. And I know that when we right, it's hard to stop. So let's run the ball.
Good.
Aside from football, today is Veterans Day. I don't know if you guys had any family or military relatives or whatever, but just the thoughts on the sacrifices, the respect that you have for those that serve.
Thank you. Thank you, those guys. You know, without them, this country would be, we don't know. So I just want to say thank you to those guys and any of y'all family members that are or whoever watching, anybody, just thank y'all and keep serving the country. Thank you.
I would just like to shout out to my uncle. He's retired from the Army. Just thankful for all the veterans out there just serving our country. We never know what they're going through out there. I'm just very thankful that they just here just to protect us. That's it.
Do you want to say your uncle's name for the shout out? What's his name?
Oh, my uncle name's Uncle Ed. We call him Ed.